Hey, hey. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Wherever this message may find you, it's your girl, G's Louise, aka Chef Jewel, back with another devotional message. Okay, we're going to do our breath work so we can release, right? And that's 4 breaths in and out, deep, where you're just, falling into you, letting everything flow, right? And then after we do our breath work, as you know, we will pray. Okay. Just a little time out. Close it out. Okay. Father God, thank you. Thank you so much for waking me out of my bed this morning. Please give me the words to communicate clearly to the collectives. Please help us to rid ourselves of fear and all blockages. Have the strength to ignore our old ways that have kept us stuck. Stay alert to keep our peace of mind. Gain strength in applying the wisdom that we learn through our experiences and to live inside of our abundance. Amen. All right. So we're January 28th, and we are reading out of Jesus Calling by Sarah Young. Okay. I am with you always. I am with you always. Whether you acknowledge me or not, I'm here. I'm with you always. I spoke these words to my disciples after my resurrection. I continue to proclaim this promise to all who will listen. People respond to my continual presence. Okay, he said, I continue to proclaim this promise to all who will listen. Now, you caught that, right? All who will listen. You don't cast your pearls among swines because they're not listening. It's a waste, right? So he said, I proclaim, I'm here, and I promise this to whomever is willing to listen. People respond to my continual presence in various ways. Most Christians, whatever religion, I don't go off of religion and names, but most people accept this teaching as truth, but ignore it in their daily living. Some ill-taught or wounded believers fear and may even resent my awareness of all they do, say, and think. A few people center their lives around this glorious promise and find themselves blessed beyond all expectations. When my presence is the focal point of your consciousness, all the pieces of your life will fall into place. As you gaze at me through the eyes of your heart, you can see the world around you from my perspective. The fact that I am with you makes every moment your life, The fact that I am with you makes every moment of your life meaningful. All right, so before I go down to the readings, I just wanted to say, a lot of us do have a lot of meaningless actions. Like when we're moving throughout our life, a lot of us have fell down. We have fell into the culture and the whirlwind of what everything is doing, right? And it's challenging because you have habits you've created, based upon your upbringing and things like that. And it's like you're moving day to day based on a collective of decisions that you made. and also based on like autopilot. A lot of us just move without even just knowing why we do things. We say things, we don't know why we're saying them. Like there's a lot of things that are going on, right, with us internally. So I feel like, you know, getting in alignment with our creator is our foundation. It is our center. It should be our focal point, and how we move should be, the center should be our creator, so that we have some kind of direction, right? And the moves that we make. He said the fact that I am with you makes every movement of your life meaningful. How amazing would that be if everything that you do in your life, every single move that you make is a it is a piece of a contribution or a brick to the wall that you're trying to build, the wall of whatever your life looks like, right? Let's just say the wall represents your perfect life, your heaven on earth. If you're sticking close to our creator and you're understanding what is going on with you and him in that relationship, in that connection, then you can understand better how to build this life, this wall, right? And I also want to speak on, there's 3 types of believers, right? Well, there's 3 types of people, right? When it comes to our connection and our relationship with God, right? And that is one that just understands God and understands what is expected of us. That, you know, they go to church, like they read their Bible, they have a basic knowledge or roundabout understanding. You know, when people have these cliche conversations like, oh, God, you know, God is so good to me, God this. And a lot of people they understand the concept of God and all of that, but they struggle with how to apply it in their lives, because the only thing that stands in between you and your full connection with God is the actions that you take that show him. And that's just like you. How many people do you have in your life that, you know, depending upon if you've rose above toxic relationships or not, like how many people of you have pretty much started basing how you deal with a person and how you are able to interact with them based upon their actions with you, right? So like even right here where he says, he said, I continue to proclaim the promise to all who will listen, right? So all who will listen. So he's not going to come and try to force anything your way. You have free will, but he's here. He's letting you know I'm here. And that's how I operate as well. Like, especially now. But I'm waiting to see, like, and he's waiting to see. It's like, okay, where's your head at? So I can understand how I can deal with you. So it's like, you have these people, there's people out here, and I was one of them, where I'm going to church. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I don't really know what's going on. I'm going to the altar. I'm like, they saying like, oh, give yourself to God. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll go up here. I'll cry because I'm sad because my life is in shambles. You know what I'm saying? But nobody's really giving you the understanding, because you have to gain that. You can't expect somebody else to get, I don't care if it's the preacher, I don't care what you watch. You have to gain this internal connection with God, this understanding, and then you have to learn how to apply. He's going to help you. You do it together to help you apply these things that you're learning, and that you are now, this newfound understanding that you have about how we're supposed to live, right? Through God, our creator, whatever you believe in, right? All the things that you come through are just filters. All the avenues that you utilize to get to God are just, it's just a pathway, and it doesn't matter what the name of it is, right? So then you got the other kind of person that's kind of like fearful of God, right? They're fearful. They're almost in resentment, because it's like, oh, God knows everything I say. What? Like, it's like you want to go against the grain. You don't like it. You want privacy. You don't want God to know everything that you do, but he does, right? Because what you do is who you are, how you move, how you treat people. And I had to learn that, because I wasn't living right. I was living wrong. So everything that I was doing was against what, even that, you know, what people call righteous, or your relationship with God, or how you are supposed to treat others, how you're supposed to add on to the community and add on to what everything is already doing, right? So if it's almost like you're annoyed, like God damn, it's like you're running from it. You're running from applying what you know, if that makes sense, or even acknowledging the fact that there is something bigger than you, right? And kind of just feeling like you don't want that. You want to create your own narrative, right? And you have free will to do that. But it's just like, the longer you ignore your intuition, and the longer you avoid and try to not acknowledge that he's right here. It's like that thing where you're like I'm not, it's there, but I don't want to talk about it. Or I know God, I know, like your walk of shame because you got messed up last night and had a one night stand. I don't know. So I don't know how people live it, but whatever you're doing, it's like God already knows you're human. So he's just like, all right, acknowledge it. It's cool. Let's talk about it. But you don't want to talk about it because of the shame or even fear or whatever, right? But it's something that is there and you can feel it. So just face it and let it go, right? Because he already knows. It's not like he don't know. So it's just like, it's almost like when you have a wife or a husband and your wife or your husband knows you're cheating on them. And you're trying to dance around it, but they just looking at you like, well, I mean, I already know. Like, when are you going to tell me that so we can talk about why you're doing this? And then maybe I can help you. Either we can get divorced, or maybe we can figure out why you are feeling like you need something outside of me. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But I'm not trying to compare. I'm just trying to make us see it and give you a perception to understand that there are several types of people that when it comes to the spiritual world. So then the other person would be a person that pretty much, the other person would pretty much be the believer that understands how to apply the things that we are learning, right? So as you have to begin to apply these things and share the love and have understanding and be God-like in all things that you do, making God the focal point, right? And when you start to do that, it just becomes easy. It's not that you're perfect, but you're moving better. You're making better decisions, and you have a foundation. You have something that's backing you. You have something to stand on. It's like, when they said the Better Business Bureau, but he's better than the Better Business Bureau. You got something really backing you that's solid, that has control over all things. The shot caller, the number one source. Why wouldn't you want to be connected to that? If you get out your ego and you get out of your own way, then it would be fine for you to collaborate. It would be okay for you to be like, okay, I want to make, what would God do? Or they said, what would Jesus do? These are important things, you know what I'm saying? So I think those are the three different categories of people where we're all struggling in our own ways, but the believer that is trying every day to apply, because we are human and we're not perfect. And every growth spurt is an opportunity to learn something about yourself. Every time you have an argument, every time you have a disagreement, every time you have a breakup, every time you have a trial or a tribulation, you're guaranteed in a fallen, broken world to have a trial or a tribulation. You're guaranteed. The world is broken and it's falling. So you want to be one of the ones that are upright. You want to be one of the ones that are on the up and up. You want to make sure that you're still believing in making God your focal point in all your movements. Are you going to be perfect? No. Do you have to be like holier than thou? No, but you're going to every day, no matter what. It's the process is literally the focus. The process that withholding God as your core point, That should be your focus, because the process is you getting to the end result, which would be the life that you want to live, number one. Number two, your eternal peace, your happiness. Even when something's going wrong, when you got God, even when everything is falling apart, you're good, because you just feel better. You have a different feeling. I don't know how to explain it to you, but everything on the external world could look like it's messed up, and everybody could be talking about you. Everybody could be looking at you sideways, funny, don't even fool with you. But you could really just feel the sense of peace when you got them on your side, and because when you lay down at night, you know if what you did today and yesterday and the day before that, and how you treated so and so, and how you know what you did. So if you cool with that, then everything should be fine. Like you should rest easy and be at peace, because you are applying everything that you have learned and are learning. Your wisdom is being applied. That's what we say in our thing right here, where we say gain strength in applying our wisdom, because there's a lot of things that we learn. Family, I'm about to cut this short and do the readings, but there's a lot of stuff that we learn throughout our relationships and stuff like that, and dealings with other people. And honestly, when we learn these things, we don't even apply them. We go back, we done got burnt, and we go back and do the same exact thing that we just did, and God be like, it's disappointing. It's the same thing when you feel when you're repeating yourself with your children, and you're like, I'm here for you, I'm this, I'm that, and I'm here, but I'm not gonna do it for you. Like, you have to meet me halfway. I have to know that you're ready to receive and understand what's going on here, so I can give you more. To whom much is given, much is required. And I really don't think people grasp that saying. A true leader leads by doing the thing that they're asking you to do. They are the example. And if you are linked up with your light, and linked up and lined up with the Creator, your source energy, where all things come from, I can't create air. If you want to question it, who do you call on when you can't do nothing? Your back is up against the wall. Because if you could just speak it up in the thin air, it would be, right? But he did. He created things. So that's the source. Plug in. You're unplugged. That's why things are they're not flowing. It's stuck. You're stuck. Your relationships are stuck. Nothing's flourishing because you're not. It's a you thing. This is always an inside job. Everything that we go through is an inside job. Before you point the finger and you want to blame somebody else, you want to blame God, you want to blame your kids, you want to blame your husband, these are your decisions, and this is an inside job. And if you do not do the inside job work, then you will be left with the pieces to pick up. And it's very hard to pick up all these pieces by yourself. It's much easier when God is by your side and he's helping you pick them up, and he's showing you, like, listen, I know it's hard for you to understand that you need me, but I need you to understand this. The quicker you grasp this, the quicker we can move forward, and the quicker things can move. We need each other, is what God is saying. I need you to do the work. I need you to be the light, so you can show other people. I need you. You're the flesh. He needs, and then we need him to give us the guide. He said, the fact that I am with you makes every moment of your life meaningful. Wouldn't you like your steps to make sense? Wouldn't you like everything that you do to make sense? Don't you hate spinning your wheels and running in circles on a treadmill? That is annoying. Who wants to do all that? Wait for the download. He's going to tell you what to do today, and then move. It's easy. Matthew 28 verse 20. And teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always till the very end of the age. Psalms 139 verse 1 through 4. O Lord, you have searched me and you know me. And this goes back to what I say. When you at home, look, when you're at home and you're alone and you've went through your day and you was walking around here putting on your face, whatever you was doing, right? You want people to feel this way, that way about you. Boom. No matter what you did all day, though, God knows you. So good or bad, right or wrong, right? Even if you're being accused and you're hurt and people out on the outside, like human beings are out here like pointing their finger at you, judging you, right? You judge you've judged and you have been judged. But the thing about this thing is that humans are going to fail you because they're all stumbling trying to figure it out, right? In a fallen world. We're in a culture fallen world. It's broken. We're not in like heaven on earth. Some people are so, and including me, I was so messed up. So I'm saying, like, when you lay down, you say, oh Lord, you have searched me and you know me. You know me. So even if everybody is saying, you like, man, you know me. You know I didn't do that. You know. You know what I'm saying? You know. And it's like, you know when I sit. You know when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. You discern my going out and my lying down. You are familiar with all my ways. Before a word is on my tongue, you know it completely, oh Lord. Now, you got somebody that's down for you no matter what. Knows you're flawed. Knows this because they created you. They know you. But they there anyway. They have you. And that's who your loyalty is not to. Like, your loyalty to everybody else. But you always overlook your relationship, your connection with spirit, God, angels, like higher beings, people that are going to hold you accountable to be the better version of you. Like, these are the people these are the entities that you've cast to the wayside. But the ones that's, on the bandwagon with you and encouraging your BS, helping you to stay in the same cycle that they want you to stay in so that you can keep being a benefit or a supply to them. Those are the people that you're loyal to. Those are the people you give your time to. That's not going to benefit you. And you got to think about these things, okay? So until next time, we are going to try real hard to stay connected to the divine and do the things that we know is in our best interest, right? We're going to practice that because practice makes perfect. It's not something that happens. This is an inside job. Think about an inside job and think about how long it takes. This is not a overnight thing. It's a daily practice. Because we weren't taught correctly. And then once you realize that, you can't blame anyone. You have to take the responsibility. And once you take the responsibility, the sky's the limit. Till next time, you already know, I wish you all peace, health, wealth, and the time to enjoy them all.